What's good? Welcome to Square Hoe Stories. It's your girl, the Square Hoe. Hello, hello. How are you doing today? I hope you're doing well. I hope your life is blessed, and I hope you're on a. If you're not so great right now, I hope you're soon on an upward trajectory towards better things. Oh, we're gonna call this friend Ezra, okay? And Ezra and I brought Ezra his first dose of acid. It was actually probably that dose was actually probably the most pure acid I ever got, because sometimes acid be cut with like, I don't know, they say it's like rat poison or something similar to, and it kind of makes your teeth grind. It kind of makes you feel like you're on a little bit more of like a jittery high, similar to like being like strung out on amphetamines or something like that. It kind of has that effect to it, right? This acid was real smooth, like it was real pure, no teeth grinding, no nothing. I think it was the most pure LSD I ever got my hands on, but um, and I got it from some Juggalo kids. You know what they say? Uh, Good psychedelics comes from hippies and juggalos. It's really true. But anyway, uh, so anyway, when we did it, we were at his one of his relatives' house, and they had this really trippy house. It just seemed like we were in like some 70s glam studio. It was crazy. Like this, they had this bar. I don't know. It was just this. It was a wonderful place to trip. And we were outside at this time. I smoked cigarettes. I haven't smoked cigarettes in 7 years. They gross me out now. But I used to be a pretty heavy duty Marlboro Red smoker, and we were outside. I was smoking a cigarette, and I stood. I was sitting in the yard in the grass, and I stood at this place, like the spot I was sitting on. All of a sudden, I felt like my feet felt like they were sinking down into the ground. Like I felt like I was growing roots out of the balls of my feet, and was like connected to this spot. Okay, it was the weirdest thing. I think I said something about it. I'm like, whoa, like I feel like a tree or something. Like I really felt like I had roots, and I was sturdily grounded into the spot in the ground. And I might have only said that to myself, like I feel like a tree or whatever. But upon talking about it with Ezra the next day, he goes, there used to be a tree there. And it's not like there was some like remnants of a stump, and that gave me some clue. No, the ground had totally been like the tree had been completely dug up, new grass and everything over it. But Ezra remembered there having been a tree there once before. Like, but you literally could not tell that there was a tree there. But I felt it, dude. I felt the spirit of that tree in that spot. I'm telling you, dude. And I felt it. I'm so serious. And okay, but that's just the precursor to some trippy shit. The really trippy shit is this, okay? And it's a really short story, but it blows my mind. And if someone has an explanation, please let me know. I honestly can't think of anything else other than we opened up some sort of dimension, and well, you'll see. Okay, so this next time I trip acid with Ezra, it's before it was like me, Ezra, and a couple of our friends. This time it's just me and Ezra. We're at his mom's apartment. At this time, I still smoke cigarettes, and which tells you I was young. I must have been like 20, 21, something like that. But I go to outside to smoke a cigarette, and we're smoking weed inside though, so like we need the bic that I'm using to light my cigarette with. And so I'm like in the doorway to the apartment, right? And I turn and I chuck the bic to Ezra. It went inside, okay? I want to say we heard it hit the ground. I don't quite remember that part honestly, but we went to go look for it, could never find it. The next day when we had come down, we continued to look for it. We've got to have thrown it somewhere, and there was no one else in the house except me, Ezra, and his mom. And his mom was dead ass asleep. And I want to say we even woke up earlier than her, or she just was like not coming out of her room. She was not a factor that could have been responsible for the disappearance of this lighter. We were out in the living room and shit like that, out in the open, like all night. We would have seen her come out. We would have seen her find something like that. You know what I mean? Like, no, we look for it the next morning when we're sober, lifting up the couch, lifting up the chairs, looking under everything, under every rug, behind every shelf, looking for it just to figure out where the fuck it went, because it had to have gone somewhere. No, my dude, we never find it. We never find it. And I wasn't so fucked up that I like threw it to the left, threw it to the right, outside. No, dude. And just to cover that base, we looked around outside too. I'm sure as shit I threw it inside, okay? Because like it wasn't, like I said, it wasn't my first rodeo. Like I can take acid and drive, okay? I've done it before. One time we had, that's a whole other story time in itself, but one time we were at the border of Oregon and Washington, me and this girl, and we had to go get weed because we were frying acid. We had no weed. We gotta have weed with acid, you know. And the closest dispensary was like a 15-minute drive across into the next state of, you know, crossing the border of Oregon. Had to drive across this big ass long ass bridge that was like a floating bridge, and it looked like we were driving. We were like, what the fuck? Are we even on a road? Because it was like dark. It was like nighttime, and you could not see the sides of the bridge, and like it just looked like, you know, the water just looks black. So it looks like we were just like in a abyss of blackness, and then the land on the other side of the bridge looked like the entrance to a mothership, like we're going into space. Like it was the trippiest thing. I drove just fine. I drive, you know what I'm saying? I can function on acid. Okay. We used to work for Sprint customer care, and I'd go to work tripping shrooms, tripping acid, stuff like that. Like I'm cool. I'm cool. It's not like I fucked up and threw it out into no man's land. No, dude, I threw it inside. And he knows I threw it inside. He watched it be thrown into the apartment. So, but yeah, we waited, we looked, could not find it. Figured it's just because we're high. We got sober, dude, and still couldn't find it. Where did it go? Did we open up a portal into another dimension? The lighter went into some other world? I don't know, man. Crazy. But yeah, you never know. Sometimes you open your third eye, you might open a whole lot else. I definitely recommend it. Unless you got some overwhelming mental kind of issues, or if you're in a particularly dark place in your life, kind of having a lot of negative thoughts, get yourself out of that rut as much as possible before taking the psychedelic. The psychedelic may even, if you're introspective enough and honest with yourself enough type of person, the psychedelic experience may alleviate those dark cycles for you. You might be able to come to some divine conclusion that helps you see the truth and helps you have a refreshed perspective, you know, and it may heal you. But if you're not honest with yourself, if you are in denial about things, if you walk around with a lot of like hatred in your heart, or, you know, just like I don't know, if you're just in a funky spot, if something bad just happened to you, it really is like, I want to say take it because it will help. But some people, you know, it's not good because you'll be confronted by your truths, you know, when you go into that space. And if you're not already accepting of those things, it could just turn the trip bad and you'll just have a bad experience. But if, you know, so wait, so if you feel like that, maybe you just maybe wait. But if you feel like you are honest enough with yourself, blah, if I could talk, and if you feel like, you know, you need some sort of alleviation, I really would recommend psychedelics because it really allows you to get closer to a higher power, get closer to being on a higher state of consciousness, and, you know, seeing things for what they really are, you know. And it could help you. It's helped me a lot of times, more than I can express. Yeah, trippy though. Where'd the lighter go? We don't know. And that's all. Short and sweet. Short is right. Yeah. Oh, and it's the new year. Happy New Year, y'all. Happy 2023. Woo! Okay. With that being said, I love you. If no one's told you that today, you heard it here. Your girl, the Square Hoe, loves you with all her heart. And I'll see you on the next one. Be sure to check it out. Bye.